Chapter 5, The Best Basswood Honey. Get your sunbonnet, Kirsten, Anna called. The wagon's hitched. It's time to go to town. Kirsten emptied the dish water on the garden behind the little cabin. She wiped her hands, grabbed her sunbonnet, and hurried out to the wagon. It was loaded with crates of chickens, baskets filled with sausages, jars of jelly, and 2 big crocks of Kirsten's honey. Papa, Lars, and Uncle Olaf were squeezed into the front seat. Mama and Aunt Inger were on chairs behind them. Mama held a baby in her arms. Kirsten scrambled up onto the very back of the wagon beside Peter. They sat with their feet dangling over the backboard, crowded in beside the big picnic hampers. As the wagon rolled down the road, crows swooped overhead and dust billowed behind the wheels. From behind the wagon came a high-pitched yip, yip, yip. Carol's chasing the wagon, Peter cried. Papa, please stop, Kirsten called. Papa reined in the horses. Carol appeared out of the dust, his pink tongue lolling. He jumped against the wagon wheel and wagged his tail. Even with his hurt leg, he chased us, Peter said. He climbed down and petted the pup. He must want to go with us very badly, Kirsten said. Could we take him along, Papa? There will be a lot of dogs in town today, Papa said. Carol might get in a dog fight. He'll be better off on the farm, Kirsten. But I'll tie a piece of rope around his neck and keep him close to us, Kirsten begged. We'll take good care of him, Peter chimed in. I suppose that 2 children should be able to manage 1 puppy, Papa said. Bring him up in the wagon, Peter. Let's get going. Carol settled on Kirsten's lap. We'll look after you, I promise, she whispered against his silky ear. Soon, the Larsons' wagon was joined by many other wagons on the road to Maryville. Everyone shouted and laughed and waved to each other through the dust. Isn't the 4th of July grand? Anna cried. It's almost like Christmas in the summer. I can already hear the guns and cannons in town, Peter said. The streets of Maryville were crowded with wagons and buggies. People filled the lanes and the little park in the center of town. Papa found a place near Mr. Burkhoff's store to unhitch the horses. Everyone climbed off the wagon. Then Papa, Uncle Olaf, and Lars began to unpack the boxes and crates. Before they finished, Mr. Burkhoff came out of his store. He wiped his hands on his apron as he looked over the goods the Larsons had to sell him. What have you got for me? He said. More of your good sausages, I say. And raspberry preserves and maple syrup, too, Aunt Inger said. Aunt Inger stepped forward to show off what they had brought. She was going to make it a bargain. Mr. Burkhoff bent down and peered into the crates of chickens. More hens? I'm not sure we can take more hens. Everyone seems to have brought them to market today. Not as plump as these hens, Aunt Inger said quickly. She stood right by Mr. Burkhoff's side. We raised the plumpest chickens, and take a look at the wheels of cheese. You don't see cheese like ours every day. It's surely worth a lot. She smiled confidently. But Mr. Burkhoff scratched the bald spot on his head and frowned. Well, that depends on what you folks will be wanting to buy. Cloth, Mama and Aunt Inger spoke at the same time. But first, we need boots for our Lars and a saw blade and nails, Mama added. Mr. Burkhoff glanced at Lars, who lifted baskets from the wagon. That boy has grown a foot taller since I saw him last, he said. I hope I've got boots big enough. Did you bring any more of your little wood carvings to sell, Lars? One of the town ladies asked about them. Lars's cheeks turned red. He wasn't used to being praised. I brought a few carvings, he said. Good, Mr. Burkhoff said, but still he didn't smile as he looked over the stacks of boxes and crates. He seemed to be adding them up in his head. Peter leaned against Kirsten's side. He whispered, Shall I ask Mr. Burkhoff about the little knife so I can learn to carve like Lars? Kirsten pinched Peter's arm. Hush, Peter. We might not even have enough money for what we need. We won't be able to buy any extra things. But you said, he murmured, but he pressed his lips together. He knew as well as Kirsten did that the important things like a saw blade and boots came first. Now Aunt Inger pushed forward the crate that held the boxes of beeswax and crocks of honey. I've saved a surprise for last, Mr. Burkhoff, she said with the same excited voice she used when she served her special cake for Sunday dinner. Kirsten pinched Peter's arm. Hush, Peter, she said. We might not even have enough money for what we need. Mr. Burkhoff's gray eyebrows went up as she handed him a box of beeswax. What's this? What's this? Beeswax, he said. It's fine, clean wax, as you can see, Aunt Inger said. A little smile pushed up the corners of Mr. Burkhoff's lips. This beeswax will sell for candles and for furniture polish, too. The town is growing, you know. Some fine ladies who have time to polish their furniture are moving here. Papa held up one of the crocks of honey. He pulled off the cork and offered the crock to Mr. Burkhoff. And here's honey, too. Basswood honey. Why don't you have a taste? Mr. Burkhoff dipped his finger into the crock, licked the honey, and a grin spread across his red face. Where'd you get such fine honey, Mr. Lawson? Our Kirsten has a nose... as good as a bear's for honey, Papa said. She found a bee tree in the forest, and we moved the hive to her farm. He pulled out his handkerchief and wiped his forehead. What do you think of it? Delicious, said Mr. Burkhoff. He took another taste and then another. So Kirsten found this honey. You can bet I'll tell the folks who buy it, where it came from. We don't often get such pure Basswood honey. He smiled at Kirsten. This will be worth something, young lady. She wanted to smile back, but she was still too worried to feel happy. Even with the honey, maybe there wouldn't be enough to buy what they needed. You women go inside the store and look over my pretty new calico, Mr. Burkhoff said to Mama and Aunt Inger. The men will finish up out here and we'll sell our accounts. Mama and Aunt Inger made their way through the crowd in front of the store. Anna and Lisbeth ran right behind them. Kirsten and Peter tied Carol in the wagon where he'd be safe, then ran to catch up to the others. As Kirsten stepped inside the door, she smelled the mouth-watering scents of spices and coffee and sausages. The little store hummed as loudly as a beehive with the voices of the shoppers. Mama and Aunt Inger joined the women who unrolled bolts of cloth on the wide counter. Anna bent over the candy display and Elizabeth looked at legs. I'm going to look at pocket knives, Peter said to Kirsten. It won't hurt just to look, will it? She gave him a little shove toward the display of knives. Pretend you can have any knife you choose, she said. Pretending won't hurt. Kirsten stopped by Lisbeth to run her finger along a length of pink ribbon. On the shelf above the spools of ribbons was a broad-brimmed straw sun hat like the one Lisbeth wore. Gently, Kirsten traced the wide brim of the new hat. If I could have anything in the store, I'd pick the straw hat, she thought. It would be so cool and so pretty on these hot summer days. Papa's voice boomed from behind her. Do you need 2 hats, Kirsten? Isn't your sunbonnet warm enough for you? Kirsten could tell he was teasing her, but she blushed just the same. She knew better than to ask for what they couldn't afford. I was just pretending, Papa, she said. It's lucky I don't need a straw hat because I'm sure this one wouldn't fit me. Let's try it on and see, Papa said. He lifted the hat and held it above her while she pulled off her damp sunbonnet. When he set the straw hat on her head, it was as light as a breeze. You've earned a special treat today, Kirsten, Papa said. I worried that we wouldn't have enough to sell for all the things we needed for Mr. Burkhoff. But when I saw up at beeswax and tasted your honey, I knew we'd have enough and a little more besides. So you and Peter may each choose something for yourself. Peter too? Kirsten whispered. She was almost too happy to speak. He wants a knife, Papa said. And you, Kirsten, would you like the straw hat? She nodded. Papa settled the hat on her head. Kirsten gazed in the looking glass and smiled at the blonde girl in the straw hat who was smiling back. She saw Papa's face over her shoulder. Then, over her other shoulder, Kirsten watched Mama hand the baby to Aunt Inger and come to join them. What this hat needs is a nice ribbon and a little decoration, Mama said. She tied a length of black ribbon and a bunch of bright red cherries around it. Now, there were 3 smiling faces in the looking glass. Suddenly, rat-a-tat of drums started up in the park. Fiddles joined the drums in a lively marching tune. Peter ran outside. In a minute, he was back in the open door of the store with Carol on his rope right beside him. It's a parade, Peter shouted. The parade is beginning right now. Come on, come on. Papa patted Kirsten on the shoulder. Go on, wear your hat to the parade. A girl needs a straw hat on a day like this. I'll tell Mr. Burkhoff to add it to our account. Thank you, Papa, Kirsten said. Oh, thank you. Take care that Peter doesn't get in the way of the horses, Mama told her. Your Papa and I will be along in a moment. Holding her hat on with one hand, Kirsten took Carol's rope from Peter. Carol's tail beat happily against her skirt, and she and Peter hurried to join the crowd.